Today I'm going to read for you yet another poem from British Library Manuscript Additional 37049. In the manuscript, this one is labeled as the Dawnce of Mawkabre, which title connects it to the larger tradition of the Dawnce Macabre or Dance of Death. And what the Dance of Death is a hugely popular late medieval motif in both visual arts and in poetry that seeks to depict the whole range of society, right, from the Pope and the Emperor down to your humble laborer, your infant, your hermit, all being led into the grave by death, who is most often personified as a series of dancing skeletons, sometimes playing musical instruments. As popular and as familiar as that motif would have been to the makers and the readers of 37049, the poem here seems to be doing something a little bit different. It's an example of what we might call a memento mori, which is just Latin for remember that you will die. Like the Dance of Death, this is a really popular motif in both poetry and in visual art, where it often takes the form of depictions of skulls or bones. We see that here in the illustration to 37049. In this case, the poem takes the form of an address by the dead to the living as the living pass by the tomb. Where the speaker is buried, I think seems to be the kind of dramatic situation that we have going on here. So there's a lot of direct address that's meant to kind of move the mind and the spirit of the reader, as well as a lot of reminders about other famous and notable people who've all gone on and died. Like many of the poems in 37049, this one has illustrations, a skeleton on each page, and one of the skeletons is male and one of the skeletons is female. We know this because of the clothes that they're wearing. If you've looked at other images from 37049, you know that the skeletons aren't always clothed. So it's an interesting thing to kind of consider why they might be wearing the garments that they do have in these illustrations. The poem itself, it's written in rhyme royale. It's about 100 lines long, so I will get right into it. O ye all whilk that by me comes and goeth, attend and behold this world as vanity. To like similitude be ye leff or loth, shall ye come for all your worldly prosperity. Thine abiding here is in no stability. Youth shall pass, and his virtues swage. Death shall come, and life shall have passage. Why art thou so set in proud elation, and with the desires of worldly covetous? Why in wrath hast thou such disturbation, with envious swelling of great malice? Gluttony using less would suffice, braining in slumber and slowly in courage, or to be litterous for all such life has soon passage. Though glittering thou be as burnished gold bright, known to thee like they seemes in lusty portraiture, ilk men ben sote in his perfect right, and formed with beauties by nature, and with strength also to forfeit thy figure. The days shall come thou shalt out of this wild wind, thy mortal fate of thee shall knock an end. Where is Solomon now with all his prudence, or mighty Samson, Duke invincible, Tullius the rhetorician with all his eloquence, or Aristotle in wit most sensible, or this Emperor Octavie most passible, or sway to Jonathas full amiable? Where ben these clerkes so expert in clergy? These kings and prince meaty and strong, all are they gone and close with twinkling of an eye. Of this worldly joy the feast dureth not long. That joy is ended as a shadow us among. Here is no lasting ease, ne no tranquillity, but labour, travail, and much adversity. Remember thyself. here is no secure abiding, and say how this world is so transitory. Thou must depart, here is no long dwelling, as Job says in his funeral obsequy, in whose service thou may learn to die, whose treatise is a perfect evidence to show what shall be after thine existence. O earthly man, why rejoice thou they of good as earthly? Send earth cell to earth, what is thy cause? Remember thyself on ilk side verily. No charter may help, bill, scroll, ni clause, thine abiding here is but a little pause. It vanishes away, and that hastily, as teaches experience daily. We that were sometime in this world as passing, were mighty strong and replete in riches, into powder shall we fall, be we never so swag. Of worldly joys, which is the progress? O barren soul that is so witless, that in the life of space cannot remember thyself, save that shall be dust ilk member. Why is thy heart so set in gladness? For worm mate thou art grafted and gnawed, for earth is given to earth in soothfastness. The flesh is born into death to be had. O wretched man, why art thou so glad with such dalliance and false elation? Why wantest thou reason and discretion? Man, remember of the Dawnce of Mawkabre, how Lord is spiritual and also temporal. Youth nor age there has none liberty, but must pass be death as dead as mercial. Wherefore let it be oft in thy memorial, for the time shall approach henceforth to wend, and to a like semblant be brought to end. When death shall smite thee with his merciful dart, by pain is strong through thy heart brute, ministering the pointers of his sore art, ne help ne succour than nearest to mote. Resemble this figure, there is none other but, and thy reward half other good or ill, when the time cometh ite venite to fulfill. Whosoever it be that by this cometh and goeth, stand and behold this literal scripture, and it say and overread, be thou life or loth, thy weeping tears fast shed in good hour. Thou art now as he was in worldly figure, he was as thou art sometime be days old. O pray ye all for me, I pray you 1,000-fold.